Dogs. Dogs are some of the most lovable, cute, and energetic creatures on the planet. It's no wonder humans took such a liking to them. But it hasn't always been this way. So how exactly did dogs become man's best friend? To answer that question, we'll have to go back tens of thousands of years ago. Contrary to popular belief, dogs did not evolve from modern wolves. Rather, a common ancestor between wolves and dogs, which is a wolf from the Pleistocene era. The exact species is still unknown. Unlike most livestock, wolves were likely not intentionally domesticated, at least in the early stages. It isn't exactly known, but it probably would have went something like this. A pack of prehistoric wolves are attracted to the smell of cooked meat, and the aggressive, less trusting ones are driven off, leaving the more friendly wolves behind. These friendly wolves settle near human camps to raise their kids, and while protecting those kids, protecting humans as well. In return, they get food scraps or a bone. And so it continues. Food for protection. A mutually beneficial arrangement. As this goes on and generations pass, this more docile nature is passed on from the adults to the children. About 16,000 years later, these animals are no longer wild and self-sufficient. They are members of society, helping us hunt and pointing out danger. As humans shifted from hunter-gatherers to societies driven by agriculture, dogs evolved to become better at digesting starchy foods like corn, wheat, and rice. Around this time is when dogs started to split into different breeds. For example, the indigenous people that inhabited snowy, more Arctic regions had huskies. Huskies evolved to have thicker fur and consume more meat due to the lack of fertile land in the area they lived in. Dogs evolved even further into hundreds of different breeds. How exactly did dogs evolve to look so different? A 50-year Russian experiment using silver foxes sought to answer that very question. Experimenters would test foxes for their defensive reactions to humans by selecting only the tame ones for breeding, and exposing those pups to human contact from a young age. They began to act more like domestic dogs. After only 4 generations, they wagged their tails and licked experimenters excitedly. They even started to bark. While this behavioral evolution was impressive, being the only population of truly domestic foxes, what was more impressive was the physical changes. After only a few generations of selecting for tameness, the foxes had floppier ears and curlier tails, traits common in other domesticated animals. Their fur also began to change color, becoming lighter and more silver. Selecting for tameness resulted in a reduction of adrenaline. And since adrenaline shares a biochemical pathway with melanin, the hormone responsible for skin and fur pigmentation, the result was lighter coats. What this experiment revealed is that many of the physical traits of dogs might have evolved from humans selecting friendlier pups. From sharing food with wolves at the campfire to throwing frisbees in the park, one look into those cute eyes, it's easy to tell how dogs became man's best friend.